Take a load off, grab a seat. Pull up a chair, prop up the feet. That's fine by me. Fine by me. Yeah. It's podcast time.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Nicholas Clay Cook.
It's a whole name. What's your social security number?
Wesley Adam.
That's your middle name, Adam? I never knew that was your middle name.
I think this is at least the second, maybe third time he's told us.
Ah,
I wouldn't
I
have
thought
been able
it
to
was-
tell you.
I thought it was Barry, Wesley Barry Willoughby.
Yeah. The Bear. The
And
Bear.
this is-
W. Bear.
Welcome
I'm gonna
to a
work on
new
that.
episode of
Fine by me.
Get This Train Rolling, baby. How y'all doing?
I felt like I was edging there for a minute. I was like, when's he going to say it?
I know, dude. I was
Let's
like
go.
on the edge of my
Let's go.
seat.
Always leave them wanting more, boys.
Always.
Yeah.
That's show business, baby.
Show
Funny-
business.
Funny enough,
Ain't
you
for the
say
weak.
the always wanting more thing. Did you? I don't know if y'all ever remember it or have ever seen it, but at the time Michael Jackson did the halftime show for the Super Bowl,
1993.
and he literally stood up there for 2 whole minutes.
Yeah, and his cue was taking off his shades to cue the
Yeah.
music, and the director was losing his mind. He was like, "Come on, Michael,
Yeah,
come on, dude."
shades
It's so
on.
funny. I saw that video last night.
Did he forget?
Yeah, he just
No business.
stands up there and commands everyone to be quiet for this
Yeah.
whole 2 minutes, basically.
And then he yeah, sick dude.
Good impression, Josh.
That dude was so good that nobody even cares what he did. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A legend.
Oh, no, yeah, no,
Allegedly.
and then I guess the reason Bill Cosby probably takes it a little bit harder is because his is like proven, I assume.
Have y'all ever seen that video of him when he got out of or when he was going to jail and he's like at the camera, he does that fucking weird face that he always does, like to the camera, like he's walking like in handcuffs, like going into court or something, and like the camera's on him in the press, and he does like those big eyes and shit like he does in a Jello commercial, and like does like the face, and then he goes right back into being serious.
What I always stood about Michael Jackson is that everybody was in. The parents were in. The kids were kind of as much as they could be in.
Yeah.
And Cosby was knocking women out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I don't know
I
if
think
that
too,
makes it
because
any better
Cosby
or
was
not,
like
but-
everybody's like dad on TV, you know,
Yeah.
Dr. Huxtable, and that
Yeah,
show.
I definitely don't think it makes it any better by any means. Or
No.
I mean, it's probably worse that he was knocking women out.
That's what I'm
and
saying. That's what
whatnot.
makes it worse, is because he like
But
put this persona
other-
on.
If the allegations are true on Michael, then he's taking advantage of kids that don't know
Right.
what they're doing. So
I mean, he had a theme
basically
park.
the same thing. What?
He had a theme park at his house.
Yeah, I bet that
That's
was
pretty
cool.
tight. That's pretty fucking tight.
No
man. We
sin's
watched
greater
Richie
than
Rich.
the next.
Me
They're
and
all.
the kids. We
Oh
watched
yeah,
Richie-
that was suggested the other day
the good one.
on Amazon Prime or something like that. I tried watching Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh
from, like,
yeah,
1994.
It's a good movie.
Man, I tried to watch it. You can
didn't
only
like it?
buy or rent it. You can't watch it anywhere.
I've
But-
got a copy if you want to borrow it.
Oh, of course you do.
You know I do.
Yes, I do want to borrow that, Josh. And
I'll
thank
get
you.
it to you. I'll get it to you next time I see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
It's a good one. It's
Yeah.
like you ever seen the movie Unhinged on Netflix with Russell Crowe?
Yeah,
It's kind of the same thing. He's like, you think you're having a bad day, you're gonna fucking learn today.
yeah,
Yeah.
Gripping the steering wheel. He's all high on opioids and shit. Just killed his fucking wife and burnt their house down.
Huh? What was it? What's it called?
Unhinged. It's on Netflix right now.
Oh no! What the other movie? What's the other movie called?
Falling
Falling
down.
Okay.
Michael Douglas goes into like a fast food restaurant and he wants breakfast. And it's like 10:59. And they're like, we're serving lunch right now. And he goes, well, I want breakfast. And they're like, no, we can't do that. And he pulls a fucking Uzi out and just goes nuts.
Yeah.
He's had enough. He's had enough of the man.
That sounds familiar. It also reminds me of the scene in Big Daddy where they go and they're like, oh, they moved breakfast up to like 10 or something.
Yeah. He goes, when did he start doing breakfast at 10 o'clock? He goes, like 6 years ago. Bull, he goes, horse shit. And the little kid starts crying. Somebody get this kid a Happy Meal. He's like, "What do you want to eat? Lasagna." He's like, "No, you don't want lasagna." Man.
I saw that kid is old enough to start playing um like veterans with PTSD now. His newest movie, I just saw an advertisement. He's playing a veteran with PTSD that like comes back, and then of course kidnappers or militia or somebody's trying to break into his home. But yeah,
You know,
so
he's a twin.
that's how old Big Daddy is. That
Him and his
kid,
twin brother were in Big Daddy. It was two of
yeah,
them, like the
yeah,
Olsen twins.
1999.
yeah.
Oh, Dylan and Cole Sprouse. Weren't they on like a
A Disney
Nickelodeon or
show
Oh
something?
yeah.
or something. Yeah, Nickelodeon maybe.
Yeah, The
Um,
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody or whatever. I remember my
yeah,
little brother watching that.
yeah.
We didn't watch a lot of Nickelodeon or Disney in my house growing up. It was more like TBS, Braves baseball, and dinner and a movie.
Well, we didn't, I mean, we didn't even have cable until I was like a sophomore or junior in high school.
Wes's family was a multi-TV home.
Mm.
Okay, Josh. So you're going to put that in consideration. Wes got to watch whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Now we had to read books.
I played
Penthouse.
I played
Popular
Maybe
video
Penthouse.
games.
Popular Mechanics.
Yeah, Car and Truck magazine.
Car and Driver, baby. Trucks.
Yeah.
Remember Trucks magazine? Trucks.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all grow
Yeah.
up with having like magazines like next to your toilet?
Yeah, and beside the recliner, there was like a stand that had like TV guides in it, like newspapers and magazines
I remember
and shit.
beside the recliner, we had magazines and
My
whatnot.
dad had like a little thing that went over like the arm uh, chair, like the
Oh,
what do you
yeah.
call that? I guess the
I
arm
don't
of the
think we ever
chair.
had anything in the. I think I remember having something in the bathroom, but I think it was more decorative than anything. Like it was the
I remember
same
like
book forever, or maybe
I
it was a
remember my
magazine.
dad would go in the bathroom and shit, and he would like read like the Country Peddler, like the like the sale bills or
Yeah.
whatever, and he would like lay them flat on the floor and like read them while he was shitting, like sitting up and reading them on the floor.
From like 4 feet away.
Yeah, yeah.
What a
He just sitting
madman.
back, just chill. I'm like, what are you doing? I'll be like, get the fuck out of here.
There were some
Read
of
the
those.
stories.
There were some of those. It was almost like Guinness Book of World Records, but it was more like for dumb facts.
Yeah.
And it was made for the toilet, like dumb book of facts for the toilet or something like
Yeah.
that. And I love those
there
books.
there was something that you could pick up for free places too that was called like Take Five or something
Or
with
did you
five.
know or something like did you know?
I
Yeah.
advertised in that No You Didn't.
No,
Yeah,
you
maybe
didn't.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
it
you
just
didn't.
has a bunch of random facts and squares and
I like that. Like each one's like a different like topic, and it like goes through like different stuff that kind of correlate with that time
Yeah.
I'll tell you
period or
what,
something.
when that salesman came by for the No You Didn't little pamphlets that you get at like Burger King and the gas station and stuff
Yeah.
like that, the salesman came by and him and his wife own it. His wife writes all the articles and he sells.
Yeah.
That's all he does is sells the advertising space and delivers the paper. But I said, man, I got a good story for you from one of these magazines. Me and my old buddy Richard Shimkus were headed to a job site in Nashville one morning, and he said, Nick, why is it when we eat something hot the night before, the next day our butthole burns? Like, what is up with that? And I said, Richard, it's because our sphincter has taste buds. We had a good giggle out of that, you know.
It's a
Taste-
mucous membrane.
Taste buds in your butthole. It's hilarious. It really is. But the next day we were on the way down there again, and I stopped at like a Burger King to get a Monster and all that.
At
Burger
Burger
King?
King?
Our
Is that
Burger King in
Monster?
Franklin is
Burger
attached to a
King.
gas station. Sorry.
Hardee's used to sell monsters.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you buy one from Mark down there?
Dude, I've never
Your
had
Uncle
a monster
Mark?
in my life. I've never tasted a monster.
Your Uncle Mark at Hardee's? You know what I'm talking about.
Dude, I got a funny story. Me and my buddy
Big flamboyant gay Mark. Oh, well, wait. Let me finish this real
Yeah,
quick.
finish
You,
his story.
you tell your gay Mark story.
Yeah, I will.
All right. And I picked up one of those No You Didn't. And the article that I read while I was on the toilet was there are multiple mucous membranes in your body that have taste, almost like taste buds in your
Mhm.
in your sphincter is one of them. So that was the very next day. I told him.
Huh.
Yeah. I was like, I told you, Richard, always believe me, buddy.
You was learning something, man. Learn something from it.
Yeah, but here are some of the magazines you might come into the library here. The Golden Age of Pirates,
Okay.
of course. Indiana Jones Special Collector's
I'm gonna
Edition.
steal that one. I'm stealing
Well, good luck.
that. I'll do it. You will never know.
Dueling Grounds Race Course, September 1993.
I'll steal it and take it home and help you look for it the next time.
Ducks Unlimited. That's kind of how this costume today was inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually started watching Ted Lasso, and I was gonna dress up like a coach, Coach Nick.
Mhm.
And then I saw this, and I was like, I'm obviously a born natural duck hunter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then here we have Bowling Green Magazine featuring our friend Tyler Ray.
Mm.
Yeah. This is the guy that dropped the piece of plywood on my head that made me bleed from my face. We'll share that picture when it comes up in my memories here in a couple months.
Mm.
Yeah.
I drink
you've
many a
got
beer
some-
with that guy.
You've got some good books in your bathroom. I know every time I've been near your house, I think you've got The Hobbit.
1984.
And 1984 is the two that I remember.
And those are actually JC's. JC decorated that bathroom. So those are actually, yeah. So
We're watching 1984 turn to nonfiction right between our eyes.
Maybe.
Maybe so.
Oh, what were you
stop
gonna-
it? Nothing.
you were going to tell a story about Gay Mark.
So me and my buddy Tyler Tata, we were doing something. It was like one Friday or Saturday morning, and we were together, and we stopped at Hardee's to get some breakfast. We went inside. Well, Mark was working, and he was like, "Tyler, I ain't seen you in a long time." I look over at Tyler, like, "Hey man, how you know this guy?" And apparently, him and Tyler's dad had went to high school together.
Yeah.
He goes, "Tyler, I've been knowing you for a long time." And he's like, all this, and that. And he gives him, like, hooks him up with like 2 Monsters and like 3 or 4 biscuits. We get back to the truck and it's like a whole bag of food. And I look at him, I'm like, why did that man give you all that food? He goes, "Man, shut up, man. It ain't nothing like that." And I'm like, okay. I said, I've never went to Hardee's and got $20 worth of food for free ever. And I was
This
like, how
dude-
long's he been knowing you? Man, I
Yeah.
went to high school with my dad, man.
This dude is very, very nice, but
He's super nice.
he is very, very flamboyant and very ethnic flamboyant as well.
He looks like the bad guy from Jeepers Creepers a little bit.
Wow.
damn.
Like not like it's like a skeleton way, but just like his build, like he has long hair and shit.
That's all he is. That's all he is like a skeleton.
Oh,
he's a
yeah,
Jeepers
look, this
Creepers
dude's
guy.
catching strays on.
Yeah,
Oh,
and-
golly.
Man, I'm gonna tell him.
Does he still work there?
I bet he does. Yeah, he loves that job.
I don't eat fast food, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well,
I ate
God
too much
took it away
cheese.
from you.
I ate too much cheese Sunday.
You were
for
taking
Super
too much
Bowl.
advantage about it.
I've been playing hell for that.
Let's hear about your cheese adventure.
So Sunday Super Bowl, everybody wanted Rotel dip with the Velveeta and the Rotel tomatoes and chilies and sausage. So I was like, you know what? I've been doing pretty good the past 6 months. I haven't really been eating like cheese and shit. Taking in mind, I'm very lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm at home. Who gives a shit? So sure enough, me and my daughter, we get in there and we fry the sausage up and make the Rotel. We're in there just tearing it up. Well, this is like 2:30. Fast forward to about 8 o'clock that night. I'm laying on the couch, dude, and I feel like there's a brick in my stomach. Like I'm just like, oh my God, dude, what is that? Well, I guess all that cheese had coagulated and just could
Oh,
become
boy.
like this solid mass in my intestines. So, dude, I haven't pooped, I don't think, since like Sunday.
Coagulated,
Yeah, I don't know what's
coagulated cheese.
I was laying
It's
in bed last
probably
night.
it's probably fermenting in there. You're probably gonna relapse.
Dude, my farts are ridiculous. That's true. I could, man. All them tomatoes and shit ferment.
You ever hear about those guys? Like there was this one woman that was divorcing her husband because he was lying about his drinking.
Yeah.
But he was honestly, his stomach was fermenting certain fruits and stuff, and his stomach was because like he sat at a lab for 48 hours, and
He
they
drank
studied
or
him,
course or
and
nothing, yeah.
and yeah, all they gave him was water and food, normal food, and like bread and yeast and
And his
everything.
blood alcohol was still reading.
Yep.
That's crazy. It's pretty rare, I'm sure.
Yeah, but could you
it's,
imagine?
I don't know if this guy has it or
Be
not,
tight.
but I'd heard
Just
about
to
this
eat bread and get
before.
drunk.
But it's
Yeah.
called auto brewery syndrome,
There we go.
in which the concentration of ethanol increases to a noticeable level in the setting of little or no alcohol consumption. Rare condition that is more prevalent in patients with underlying gut problems. So you could just
Mm.
be eating some food one day, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm hammered.
I think that's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Komodo dragons, they eat food whole, like deer and shit. Sometimes they eat too big a prey and it poisons them inside of their body because they can't digest it fast enough. So like that whatever they eat rots inside of them and kills them. They get sepsis.
Dang.
Greedy.
I sent
That's
Wes a video
great.
last week of a Komodo dragon ripping a baby deer out of a mama deer's stomach and eating it.
Yeah.
I don't think he watched it because he wouldn't have forgot that.
No,
I didn't see
I've
it.
seen it. Yeah.
I'll resend it to
I
you.
don't remember if I
Thanks,
don't remember if
bud.
I watched it when you sent it to me, but I've seen so many of those Komodo dragon videos.
They're ruthless, dude. They're scary as hell.
Sure as hell.
They can also run like 22 miles per hour, so I'd be fucked.
I know there was a podcast I was listening to like yesterday. They were talking about Komodo dragons.
I just
And
try to
like
give up my leg
they were
and
like,
try to
oh,
get
they're
away.
only on like the Galapagos Islands. It's not
Mhm.
true. They're not. They're not on
I
the
seen one at the
Galapagos
Louisville Zoo.
Islands. They're in like they're in
I know they're in Louisville.
They're in America, dude. They're here. They've infiltrated.
they're in Thailand mostly.
That's big Komodo for you.
Yeah.
I had to miss a reptile. There was a reptile animal fair in Nashville last week.
I can see
I
you
had
look
to
like the
miss.
reptile guy right now. That's who you look
I
like.
do.
Yep.
I do.
What's that
Big
dude's
Steve
name?
Irwin guy.
Coyote or something? He like lets like animals like sting him and bite him and
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
He was big in 2020 when TikTok was all we had to do.
Mm.
No,
I
I'm
was
gonna watch this
drinking. That wasn't
guy.
all I was doing. I was turning up in 2020.
He ran out of shit to do because he like jumped too far to the
Yeah, too
most
fast.
to the most painful bites in the world. Like he was like, oh, I gotta put these.
I remember when those like murder hornets like were all over the news, and he like got stung by one on purpose, and he was
probably
like, "It's the worst
swallowed
pain
one."
I've ever felt." His arm swelled up.
He probably
what an
swallowed
idiot.
one whole.
That dude's crazy, man. I mean, that's talking about just doing anything for money. Like you're willing to do anything for money if you're letting shit bite you and sting you and shit. Ain't no
Hey,
way.
did y'all look into this mine at all?
Dude, I just from what I seen, I didn't get into a whole lot because apparently we have a lot of stuff in those limestone mines.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll the TikTok says is only like a minute
Yeah.
long, so
Preface this.
yeah, so this is some TikTok guy, I don't know him, but um well you'll see. I don't think I need to say
Or
much.
you'll hear.
Hold on.
This is Elon Musk talking in the Oval Office yesterday
Yeah,
Oh,
for
sweet.
people listening.
I've met share.
Supreme leader Elon Musk. He's head of the Klingons.
Let me know if y'all can hear this.
He was dead serious when he said that we can only retire 10,000 people a month because the retirement paper is kept in a limestone mine.
All the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork.
And I found an article that was written in 2014. The government has been trying to digitize this system since the 80s and has wasted over $100 million on the project with no results. We're still doing it manually by hand to this day. When this article was written, they mentioned that there are 600 employees doing this job. And Elon just said today there are 700 people working on this. 11 years later, here we are in 2025, still doing it manually with paper and storing it in a limestone mine. If anybody can't see the value of Doge at this point, you're trying so hard not to.
Shit, my phone scans documents now. You ain't even got to go anywhere to scan documents anymore.
It's
You can
crazy.
deposit checks on your
And
phone.
I think I know the company that they use, the one that they showed is called Iron Mountain, and my company that I work for also uses Iron Mountain for some paper
Documentation.
documents and whatnot.
I don't think Iron Mountain's trying too hard.
Well, I mean, I mean, they're not. I mean, unless the government is paying Iron Mountain this $100 million or whatever it's been over the past. I think they said since the '80s they've been trying to.
40 years.
Yeah, '80s they've been trying to digitize it.
Our whole life.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is
Like
crazy, man. But you got to think
Plus,
about how much information.
700
that is, though.
employees. I mean, let's say 50 grand per employee. So
What's our population? About 370 million, 350,
Mm,
roughly. Well,
I
you think
think
about all
so.
the people that have lived and died since 1980. You know,
Yeah,
like
three-
you know, so
Say 345 million. Yeah.
well, let's do some quick math right there. How many people die every day?
a bunch,
Not
more than
enough.
more than 10,000.
Well, and
I
then-
like that. More than 10,000. Not enough.
Nearly 9570 per deaths per day. It's 9,570.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Hey, good job, Josh.
1950, that number was 4,000 a year.
Well, what my dad would say if he's living. Did you read that in one of your little books?
Josh, spin the wheel of death for everybody at home.
Did you read that in one of
Wes-
your little books?
Wes
Your
having a
precious little
seizure.
books?
I threw my plug out.
Plug.
Oh, don't throw your plug out, brother. You might need him one day.
But
Butt
the
plug.
I just can you imagine like
Hey,
all this-
could you imagine Wes's butt plug?
thing wouldn't stay in long the amount of times I have to
It's the fine by me symbol. It's like a circle. It's a globe.
Yeah,
it lights up.
Yep. Neon green.
about that big around.
But yeah, I mean, just
You
all
looking
that
at that?
paperwork. Like, what? I mean, what? I wonder what's stopping them from digitizing it.
They ain't
Why
got enough damn
probably-
people.
What?
They probably ain't got enough people to
I'd
process
say those 700
information.
people probably like their job. They probably like,
Oh, I'm sure they do. They love showing up and producing nothing.
yeah.
I did that my whole life.
Just over there doing not a
Just
damn
show up,
thing, pretty much.
Slide
for
under the radar.
40 years.
They probably get paid pretty good too.
Oh, I'm
Could you imagine?
government
Could you
job.
imagine getting handed a list of 10,000 people that died and being like, all right, go find these people today. There's going to be another 10,000 tomorrow. We can get rid of these files.
Yeah, that's why you need to digitize it and not
Yeah.
have people just going and manually
Yeah,
looking
if
for
there's-
these retirement things.
700 employees. That's like 2.5 people per employee. So that's really not that bad of a day. You know, if there's 10,000 people that die in a
well,
day,
you know that there's a half of those are like supervisors or something that do nothing.
probably 80% of them. There's probably
Yeah.
like 100 dudes that do all the work or gals that do
Yeah.
all the work, and then everybody else is just riding around
Yeah.
on there. Like I think about Austin Powers and like Dr. Evil,
Yeah,
Dr.
the little-
Evil's like Lair, and he's like
cart
riding around on one of them
Yeah.
carts.
Man, we used to prank the maintenance guys had one of those at a factory I worked at, and we would sabotage them carts.
They're like a
Um,
golf cart on steroids, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
Well, I think it's
they're-
just a golf cart without the top thing.
Well, it's
Yeah,
got
a
like
lot
like
of them are
metal-
way too fast for an indoor factory setting.
Yeah.
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 I think they had one at A.O. Smith whenever I worked there, and like you could luckily hear it coming because it was pretty loud. But
I'm
if-
coming.
if
Go
you
get back to
didn't-
work.
I'm coming.
If you didn't, and you turned a corner and that thing was coming, it wasn't stopping in time. I guarantee you.
Hey,
That
I
sounds
tell
like
you
me a
what,
lifetime paycheck.
Logan Aluminum, the campus of Logan Aluminum is so big that they have just a bunch of three-wheeled bicycles with baskets on them around. And if one's available, you can just take it to wherever you're going.
They make them pedal, huh?
I mean, but there's like 10 buildings
Yeah, it's
over like
big.
70
It's bigger than
acres.
it's like as big as Western's campus.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
It's
not
it's
ideal.
hundreds of acres and yeah.
I've seen those like knee scooter things, like factories that have those that are just
Well,
kind
I'd
of
be-
sitting there in like little banks, and you take them. You just go grab one if you want to, if you're going to go a great distance or whatever.
What's a
We
knee
went-
scooter?
Like the thing that Tutley gave me, like whenever I had
Oh.
my broken ankle.
Yeah.
Damn, I'd be fucked. I only got one knee.
Which one do you put on there, you know?
Nah, I ain't got no strength with this fake one, so I just
You
be
like
just
to ride it.
I just have to rock it back and forth till it moved a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You
Man,
could probably
I can
sit
imagine.
down. You could probably take a seat on it and just move with that one leg.
I'd
You might be
make
able
it
to
to where
screw it to your like take the knee off your prosthetic and you can just maybe take the seat off the bike, and then it might fit together really nice. I like how it zoomed in on me while I was
I'm
doing
sure
that.
there's probably attachments to everything. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. If
I'm sure
not,
there
Nick could
is.
make you one.
We can go to Harbor Freight and I would find all the right parts to like adapters all the way up to whatever you've got going on.
I know, like I looked into like because I have a hard time doing cardio unless it's like with my arms, like ropes or like something like a row machine. So like
Yeah.
I looked into getting like a bicycle that would like fit to my leg because I can't like I don't have a knee, so I can't like do like that actual like full motion
Yeah.
to like turn the pedals. And they have an attachment that will fit on a bike, but it's like $5,000 or $6,000 because everything's just crazy expensive
Oh
once you
yeah.
get into that stuff. Maybe he'll
Oh,
take care of that. Maybe that's what they need to do is make medical stuff cheaper. RFK is trying to do that, right?
Yeah,
well,
should
he's
be.
trying to get rid of all the bloat, all the BS.
Yeah.
I think.
He's getting rid of Velveeta cheese and Rotel dip.
Oh, I'm sure.
That'll be gone, dude. That'll
Yeah.
be gone. I told the kids the other day, I said, y'all better eat all that Valentine's Day candy up with all that red 40 in it and blue, whatever. I said, because in about a month or two, if things go like they want it to, there won't be no more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember them little strawberry candies like every grandma had?
Yeah.
Those
With that
things.
gross gel in the
Yeah.
middle.
All that was red 40.
Red. Everything I like is cherry and stuff, so I know it's full of rich. Like dude, I don't drink cherry Coke or nothing anymore just because I know. I think that shit does fuck you up
Oh, yeah.
after a while. Like
Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids, man, I love Sour Patch Kids and
That's
stuff,
one of
and
my
man,
favorite, like,
I
snacks.
can't eat them.
I love that shit. I don't
They're
get them
good.
often anymore, but I will go on a little tear on them every now and then and get
They're
like one
good,
of the
man. You just
big old bags of them.
yeah, dude,
Man,
just to your mouth raw, just eating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
They had a whole table at the gas station earlier. I took Tucker in over the weekend, and it was 50% off candy. And we got
Yeah.
so much. The roof of my mouth still hadn't
Yeah,
recovered.
yeah.
I ate those like long rainbow straws that are just drenched. It was the most sour, whatever that sour powder is. It was
Yeah.
the most I've ever seen on a piece of candy in my life. And I had to have eaten 15.
We got a dentist around the corner going like, yes,
Yeah.
I
Josh
remember when-
Phillips.
yeah,
I remember when the sour stuff like really hit whenever I was in like middle school or so, and like Warheads got popular and whatnot. I
Yeah.
remember eating because everybody was like, "Oh, it's so sour," and of course I was trying to be a badass, so I would just put like 8 Warheads in my mouth.
God, dude,
I've
this
never
whole
done
face.
more than one warhead
I've done
ever. And
two.
I love sour stuff. I've never even thought of it.
Dude,
Yeah, I
it's,
used to
it's
put-
rough.
All kinds in my mouth and be like, "This ain't shit," and then the next day, like the top of my mouth is like,
Oh, your
peeling.
jaws just be hurting. You're like, God, dude, what happened? It's all them chemicals and poison just melting through your tissue
Well, I can't. It's like dextrose something acid is what
and
it
citric
is.
acid too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is an acid that they put on it to
Yeah.
make it sour like that. So yeah,
I
it makes sense.
Googled the most sour candy in the world one time, and it was just like toxic waste, basically a warhead type deal. I thought that like
Didn't you bring some
The-
into my house one time? Like in a
Probably.
little trash can container kind of thing?
yeah, it's like a nuclear waste bin is
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
packaging looks like, Josh.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
try it.
Yeah. But I figured as far as the spicy community has come in the last 10 years with the new Carolina Reapers and Ghost Peppers and all of these things that have been developed, I
Mhm.
figured not too long, maybe the sour community will reach those kind of efforts as well.
I think
but
they do have some stuff.
Just as a consumer, hope and prayer is all we have. Okay, guys?
Would you do a challenge for the people?
I would love to. If you could find something that is unbearably sour.
Yeah, let's find some. I'll order it. And we'll do this next week.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the most
Is this the top?
like that. That
Is that
really
it?
isn't that much. That's not that sour.
Because y'all did
Like,
the
I
hot
want something
sauce
to
challenge
fuck
last
me
year.
up.
Oh, I love sour
Oh,
stuff.
Altoids had some good sour candy that has
Oh,
been
yeah.
discontinued.
Those were good. I forgot
Altoid
about those.
sours, I think, is what they were called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember those and the icebreaker sours were good too.
Yeah, Icebreakers had a good one.
It's a good
I
one.
wonder.
I liked those mint strips back in the day that would come in a little
Oh,
rectangle.
the Listerine deals that would melt
Yeah,
on
I
your
like
tongue.
those. You don't really see those very often
It's probably
anymore.
because they're outlawed.
Mega sour raspberry bombs.
Mm.
It's a quarter of a kilo.
That's funny. They do it in kilos.
Golly.
500 grams.
Final boss.
I need an
sour-
8 to them raspberry bombs.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna play this because y'all have failed to yet, but I just
From facts to fiction, it's the news. If it's online, you'll find the clues. So sit right back, no need to stress. Let's search the net with Interweb.
The gong does it for me. That's
that
what I
does
like,
me
the
too.
gong.
It completes the song.
Yeah, dude. I feel a
The-
little tingle on the back of my neck every time I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lawsuit incoming.
God, yeah. Do not post that picture you made with it.
I didn't make the picture.
I did. I showed Chris last week. And she goes, I don't know the context of that. She goes, but please. Do not. I said, let me play you this song. And she said, the song makes it way worse. It's so
Oh,
funny.
God.
It is a pretty good little. I wasn't expecting Asian or Oriental style music. Whenever
Yeah,
you
that
put-
was not
whenever
what I
you make-
expected either. Whenever
Man,
he was making me a tune.
You're always throwing us curveballs.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to use ChatGPT for any Chat EBT,
Right, yeah.
Chat NBA for any of that stuff.
Chat
Yeah.
NFL.
And I started just mixing, and then I saw a mixing board that was classical Chinese, and I was like, well, let's see what they got. And I heard that gong, and I knew we had something. I knew we had something special.
What do y'all think
Um,
about the Super Bowl?
I was tickled pink.
I'm glad the Chiefs got beat,
Yeah.
but it was kind of boring for a while. For
Yeah.
real. It was kind of a
I mean-
lackluster Super Bowl. It didn't even feel like it's too. They make too much out of it, dude. They started showing stuff at like 10 in the morning. Like it's
Yeah.
all like it's like by the time you get to the game, you're like, geez, man.
I know. I think I woke up
like
at like
fatigue.
9 or 9:30 or so on Sunday, and like I just immediately turned like YouTube TV on to see
Yeah,
if they were already like covering something or if there was anything fun that was going to be happening before it. It was just them like talking about it for 8
Rob
hours.
Gronkowski just slamming people on the ground for
Yeah.
2 hours.
So it was just them talking for hours, and then it finally started. I think I actually just like I got up at like noon or 10, 11 or noon or so, and like came in here and played video games until
Yeah,
it came on.
it was.
And
pretty
even
good.
then, I didn't even. Well, yeah, I did. I think I had it like on in there, and I could hear like the. And now here's the
Yeah.
national anthem. So I went in there after that, and it still felt like it took an hour before the game actually started after the national anthem played.
I think that with it being in New Orleans, I think they went a little heavy on the Jazz.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little. Like, it was
Yeah.
all right. Like, I didn't have a problem with it. It was just
Who but
like,
Tommy doing the national
yeah.
It didn't even sound like the. I'm
I
all
don't-
for
I don't really
artistic
remember the
renditions,
national
but
anthem performance.
I like John Batiste, but I mean, it was just like, I don't know. It was, everybody does, like you said, they all do their own renditions of it, but nothing beats Fergie's from like 2014. That was the best one.
Yeah. Whitney Houston.
Hammered up there, hammered, dude.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston has what's
the best
considered to be
one.
the best one ever. Yeah.
Wearing that American flag windbreaker suit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick. That's like
You need
peak
one of those.
America, man. That's whenever, dude, after that, it just started going downhill.
Well, that was when she started doing crack and letting us
No,
down.
she was already doing that. I'm
No,
sure.
she was on it. She was on it.
She had that energy like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
She was married to Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown, baby.
Yeah. Yep. He's
Hey, I
still
was
alive.
talking about all that government stuff with the retirement forms or whatever being in a bank, but we also hoard gold like we're like a castle from the Middle Ages these days, or supposedly we do. Fort
Better
Knox.
than they ever did it.
Well,
I
we are
think.
turning into a monarchy, so it would
Yeah.
fit.
So we've got all of those. Fort Knox is obviously the biggest one. And there's a bunch of them.
Kentucky.
I didn't realize how many there were. Oh yeah, in Fort Knox, there's a minefield around it,
Hmm.
as well as like actual Mission Impossible style lasers in certain
I've done some
rooms.
work up there before, back when I
Yeah.
did fire sprinkler, and it's like
Now,
a
are those
nightmare to get in there.
motion detector lasers or are they cut your leg off lasers?
They got
Uh,
ponds and they got sharks
detectors.
with freaking laser beams attached to their head.
I think there's 6 towers with like machine gunners on top
Yeah.
of them or something
Shoot on
like that.
sight.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah.
approach, you're donezo.
Yeah, they just bury you there.
Yeah,
They don't even tell nobody.
they'll throw you into the minefield. Maybe you'll catch a mine. Who knows?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might. So where are the? I know there's a big one in New York City,
Yeah, the New York
Fort
Fed's the other
Knox,
big one. Yeah,
and they're probably what there's. I know we get like our Federal Reserve that like serves our area. I think it's in St. Louis.
yeah.
I think so. I think that's right.
I mean, it's. I didn't honestly like write down. I mean, they've got New York City, Philadelphia has one. Um, I didn't really look up really each and every
Locations
one.
and
There was a
stuff.
bunch of them, to be honest. There was like 20, but like 99% of it was in Kentucky at Fort Knox or whatever. So, but then there's a pretty good amount at the Mint, where we
In
actually mint
Franklin?
money and whatnot.
Yeah,
Oh,
at the casino. There is some money out there.
yeah.
It's funny enough, we actually used so it was in during the Great Depression. Who was the FDR?
FDR, yeah.
Yeah, FDR. He's actually the only president that's ever been inside of it. And it was
Mm.
because it finished being built while he was president. So there was not actually any gold in it yet or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but in order to try to reverse the depression, he actually forced US citizens to give up what gold they had.
Yeah, I know. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yep.
then
He
just
would trade money for it.
overnight they had like a crazy amount of gold reserves from taking everybody else's gold or
They
whatever.
would like offer like rewards if you like told on your neighbor.
Yeah,
Like if yeah, that's crazy shit, dude.
yeah,
Like that's insane to me. People like FDR did a lot of good things, and of course, I think he helped get us through. Like, but I think the reason why he was so successful with us in World War II is Winston Churchill. I mean,
yeah,
I think without him, I don't think like we would have been as successful defeating Nazi Germany.
yeah,
Nazi Germany was a lot closer to taking over than people know, like think about, because all they had to do was really get Great Britain. Had we not, joined up with them and put like the German front first instead of Japan, it would
hmm.
have probably been a whole lot different,
Oh, I'm
like,
sure. Yeah, I mean,
world now.
I was gonna say somebody made a joke in front of me a little while back or whatever, and it was one of my like good friends. So he was just like, oh yeah, and then we kicked the Nazis' ass, and I was like, I mean, we did win, but it's not like we gave them a beating really bad. I
Yeah.
mean, like they were pretty close to cinching that thing up.
Hitler was also a very sick man, like physically sick at the end of like whenever he killed himself. Like he had like early stages of Parkinson's disease. He had the irritable bowel disease. He had
You said
early
he killed himself?
dementia. Yeah, he killed himself in a bunker.
I know that's the story. I just wonder
Shot his
if that
dog first and then killed
wonder if
himself.
that's what
Ava
actually happened or not.
Ava Braun took poison and shot herself, and then he shot himself.
Damn sure there's
Joseph
somebody.
Goebbels and his wife killed their 6 children in the bunker. They killed all their kids and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all should watch the
They're
movie
in
Downfall.
Argentina.
Well, they're dead now.
Nah, they're in Argentina.
There's no way that they're still alive if they were. Like, if they got out of there, they're not alive now.
I bet their great grandchildren are still there.
Oh, there's definitely descendants, I'm sure, but not the Goebbels family. They killed that whole bloodline. They didn't
Yeah,
want to live in a world that wasn't the Reich.
Tut sent me down this rabbit hole whenever we were talking about these retirement papers, and then I had another buddy just in it randomly mentioned like our gold reserves haven't been audited, and it's always been like this conspiracy theory that um the gold's actually not in Fort Knott. Like we actually don't have as much gold as we
Why
say we
not?
have, pretty much. Um, the last audit that was done was in 1953 under Eisenhower, and only like one room. No, I think they said they only tested 5% of the gold at Fort Knox. So it wasn't even really a true audit. And then they've had other like show audits, is what they call them, like 1973. Um, there was a congressman, I can't remember what his name was off the top of my head, but he called for like, hey, we need, like, none of us are allowed to go into this place. So we're just trusting the U.S. Mint Department to be truthful to us on how much gold we actually have. And then in around that same time is when Nixon took us off of the gold standard as
Braxton
well.
Hicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
No, not
like,
Braxton Hicks.
Those are
that's the
contractions.
Contractions.
Yeah.
Those are contractions.
Yeah, it's what is it called?
Uh,
Fiat currency.
Yeah, fiat currency. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
it's called.
so our money isn't really backed by anything anymore. And basically, so Eisenhower took everybody's gold so that we had reserves or whatever to back it, and then Nixon kind of took all of that back, but he kept the gold, of course. And now the gold is kind of just there, like, just in case. You know, like if some shit hits the fan, like, you'll always be able to like share gold and whatnot. But we don't even know if that gold's even there or not.
We supposedly have about 8,100 tons of gold.
147.3 million ounces is the number I've got. I don't know what
So
that is.
what is
in
that?
tons.
Gold's like 3,000 an ounce. So 143 million.
Yeah, and this is something else I've got from 2023. It says we have 8,133 tons. I don't know what you just said, but
That's $4.29 trillion. That's all. We're $30 trillion in debt. It's growing every day.
yeah. And the other thing that I was looking into is that we haven't really added anything to our gold reserves in a very long time. Like, it's just been sitting at the same number since around 1980 or so is the last time we've seen any big movement in us putting anything in the gold reserves. When they tell us all the time that we're mining new U.S. gold every day,
I see the commercials all the time on the news.
but it hasn't changed since 1980.
Right.
So I don't
Who
Well,
know.
knows, man?
I think I can tell you where all that gold's going, buddy. Okay.
Where?
Tax season grills. Get your shine on. Yo, 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 tax season's around the corner, and you already know what time it is. It's time to upgrade that smile, baby. Fellas, you worked hard all year, or at least you told your baby mama that you did. Now it's time for her to invest in what really matters, your grill. Baby mama, let's turn that $3,000 tax credit into a whole VVS set, my guy. Come on. Ladies, let's be real. Your man can't be out here flexing last year's grills. That's embarrassing. Upgrade him today, and for all my independent hustlers, we have special discounts. For all my entrepreneurs, street pharmacists, and alternative revenue stream specialists, you must provide proof of at least 3 mixtape links or 1 exotic pet, like a snake, monkey, or a parrot preferred.
Thanks to Grizzlies.
Yeah. We know times are tough, but that's why we're accepting trade-ins. Bring in old jewelry, rims, or whatever's you got in those little baggies. We'll take some of that too. Stop playing. Come on down to Shine Time Grills, where your tax refund transforms into instant clout.
Nice.
Nice.
It's Bretton Woods system, not to be confused with Braxton Hicks. False.
I know. Whenever you said that, I
Contractions.
was like, oh, that might be right. I don't know.
That was close. Bretton Woods. One of them.
I don't know what
veins.
that Braxton Hicks guy did, but I think a Braxton Hicks contraction is like a false alarm contraction.
It is. It is.
So I think that Braxton Hicks guy might have been a liar of some sort, because they're like, he's pulling an old Jimmy on us. You know what I mean?
He's going to take the gold.
I did, as I've been, because it's just been the past couple days, like looking into this Fort Knox and the gold reserve stuff. Yeah, even Ron Paul at some point brought it up in Congress, like that we needed to have an audit, because he was like, I don't think the gold's there. Let us go look
I
at
want
it.
to see it. Let's see it. Let's take
I
pictures
want
of
to see
it.
it.
Show it to the people.
And they didn't let him.
No.
And then,
Well,
just like a few years
For
ago,
safety reasons.
it might have been 2011. There was another kind of no-name Republican, like he wasn't, in the news or anything, and He put a bill forward. It was like really, literally like one of the smallest bills that went through. I think it was like House Bill 258 something or whatever. But
Yeah.
he put it forward, and it was literally just we just want to go audit. We just want the ability to audit the Federal Reserve, and obviously it didn't go anywhere. He didn't have any really
Yeah.
support for it. But looking at the rest of this stuff, man, I was like, man, I could probably make like several episodes based on Fort Knox, just based on how many conspiracy theories there are on it. Like there was a in I think it was in the 60s, there was a case called the Montel case. And
Williams.
this they had
Jordan.
a unknown flying object fly over or fly from the like top of the Fort Knox, and then it left and went out, and then they had this guy Sergeant Montel go chase it, and the last thing he said was like he described like what he was seeing, and he was like it was just like a flying. Basically, said it was a flying saucer, and then it wasn't soon after that that his plane crashed and he died.
Damn.
This is how we do it.
This
Michael
is
Jordan.
how we do
It's a
it.
good song.
Yeah,
That's I think
maybe
that's where the
something
inspiration for
cooler
that song come from.
to look into because like I said, I've got those two little lines about it, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch more on the Montel case out there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I remember seeing pictures. I don't think it was from Desert Storm. I think it was from post 9/11, and it was just like these high-ranking military officials, kind of like, and I say high-ranking just because it was like older, kind of gray-haired white dudes just in a dump truck full of gold bars in the Middle East, and they were in
Kuwait.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But just and I saw the caption was this was the real weapons of mass destruction.
Y'all ever
Because
seen
like
the
these
movie
guys
Three
were they were
Kings?
just huh?
Three Kings. It's a movie with Ice Cube, George Clooney, and Mark Wahlberg.
It's been a while if I've seen it.
Yeah, they're in Kuwait, and like their job is to like get like the leftover like gold bullion from Desert Storm, and they like are gonna like rob the government like to keep some gold for themselves. It's a good movie. Check it out. Three Kings.
Three
It's
Kings.
a good movie. Classic.
Mm.
90s action.
This is on Wikipedia on January 7th, 1948, 25-year-old Captain Thomas F. Mantell, National Guard pilot, died when he crashed his P-51 Mustang fighter pilot. He was sent in pursuit of a UFO. Mantell pursued the object in a steep climb, disregarded suggestions to level his altitude. At high altitude, he blacked out from lack of oxygen. His plane went into a downward spiral and crashed.
Damn.
So what the report says.
I love gold.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, that's a keeper. Pulls that scab off his back.
I'm looking for this new puppy dog, but I can't find her anywhere.
It says later investigation by the U.S. Air Force Project Blue Book indicated that Mantell died chasing a skyhook balloon, which was a top secret
Callback.
project that he wouldn't have known about. And so they're saying basically it's a weather balloon. It would house a Cherenkov detector, a particle detector using the speed threshold for light production. I don't
That
know. what
sounds
that
like
means.
some Stark Industries shit to me.
Yeah. So of course they were like, oh, a year later they were like, oh, he was probably just chasing one of our balloons that his P-51 Mustang couldn't keep up with. Yeah, right.
Okay. Fastest airplane that we had at the time.
Yeah, right.
Super balloon.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever read.
Dumb.
No, I mean,
I've been reading some pretty dumb shit lately.
Yeah, what kind?
Our text messages.
Our text messages, yeah. Kanye's tweets have
Oh
been
yeah.
unhinged.
Yeah.
He just-
He's been off the rails this past week.
He had to get back in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that is, man.
He released a shirt on his website. There's just
Yeah, they
a
shut that
swastika.
shit down, dude. They shut that down shit real quick, which they should.
Yeah,
I wonder
that's
if
wild.
I wonder if he got some orders in.
You know we did. 100%. 100%, man.
That dude's wild, man.
Yeah,
Crazy how incredible he is as a musician. And
we might get a pretty good
like
album
this-
here before long.
What's that?
We could get a pretty good album here before long.
Oh man, I hope so. That'd be tight.
He's on some shit, that's for sure. He's in some kind of creative space. Now, whether that creative space is positive is yet to be seen.
Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
does have a song that was very popular. Ari Shafir wanted to use it as his exit song for his special Jew.
Yeah, he's got a bit about
He
him.
wanted to use Black Skinhead as his exit song.
They wouldn't let him.
He said, well, he said that he messaged him and was like, "Hey, I can't afford this, but it would be really great if I could use this."
He's like, nah,
And he
man.
called him Kanye in the email apparently.
there you go.
And then like his
Uh,
publicist or somebody was like, "I know you're not referring to Ye as Kanye right now."
I know, man. As Jesus? You mean Jesus?
Yeah, no, you can't use our song. You don't even know what the guy's name is. And I was
Right.
like, I just didn't respond after that.
Right, yeah. How do you deal with people like that? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't.
How do you expect me to keep up?
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
insane.
thought it was funny. I was watching I've heard him tell that story before, but he was on Theo today.
Hmm.
I'm a little
Yeah,
bit
he's been
on-
making his rounds pretty good here lately.
You get
So
that
you
new
got-
special out,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to do special on YouTube.
which is pretty good.
yeah.
What's that called?
Let's give him a plug.
America's
Let's give him. Let's
Sweetheart?
give him.
Oh, I thought
Right.
thought he said on he was on a guy named George Janko podcast. He's a Christian podcaster, and he said that Netflix was putting it on, and they were going to buy Jew from him and show Jew on Netflix now.
Yeah, his
Well, I
new
know
special
that-
is on Netflix.
What's that?
American Sweetheart is on Netflix.
Oh, is it? I forgot
Yeah.
where I watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
It
they
is.
were-
And
they're putting Jew on there in like April or May or
I
something
think
like that.
you're
Yep.
the one that told me he gave like $7,500 for the flowers on stage or some stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I
it's a
forgot
beautiful
about that.
stage.
oh, this
Gotta be
new one,
sneezing, gotta be sneezing everywhere.
this new. So his last one, Jew, he had candles, and they were supposed to be 24-hour candles so that they could use them for 3 different shows. And they tried them like at the apartment, just one, and it lasted 24 hours. But when they got them all on stage, the air conditioner, like the blow of wind, made them last 4 hours. So they had to source 5,000 candles
Golly,
in like 6 hours. They had to find these before the taping.
they bought every candle in New York City, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I think he ended up saying that the candles ended up costing more or something. I'm sure it
Probably
has
did,
a lot to do
yeah.
with having to source them so quickly.
That and hiring people to watch them things so they don't burn the place down. Like, you got to have people like on watch with fire extinguishers that whole
Yeah.
time. It's like
I'd-
5,000 candles. I
I'd
mean, that's an
volunteer.
inferno if that shit goes up.
I would have fire extinguishers like duct taped to my back with the hoses like this, just waiting. Maybe the hoses are coming out of my sleeves.
They probably
Like
had a
a-
tanker truck sitting outside just in case.
Like you're a Ghostbuster at the
Yeah,
Yeah, proton pack.
proton pack. Never watched those movies.
Really?
Never seen them.
You've never seen
Bill Murray.
I've seen
you
bits and pieces. I've seen bits and pieces like when they're on
You need to watch
TV.
Ghostbusters.
You
man.
never wanted to know what Bill Murray was up to over there?
No, man, that's why I gave I got that little deal for you and Tucker. Remember that DVD thing? I just happened to see it. I didn't watch it ever. I just gave it to you.
Dang.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
dude,
guy's
it's
got
just-
a podcast where he talks about movies. I never seen Ghostbusters.
Hello.
Well, we talk about good movies.
I mean, that's better than any movie that you've reviewed thus far,
Absolutely not. It ain't better than The Departed.
especially number 1 and 2, probably.
Mm.
What are you doing back there?
I don't know, man, but we're probably right
Nick,
at
it's about
about
time
an
to close out on this guy. Oh,
Yeah, I
there
know
it
it. I
is.
just she'd been hiding, and then I'd heard her in there messing with the cat.
new member of the house. New
This is
member of the
Pearl. Say
My
hi,
cat's back here
Pearl.
asleep on the bed.
Hi to the goons. I
Well,
stepped
she's
in
gotten
there.
big since when you sent us that picture last week.
team. Yeah, it's like you doubled the
Golly.
size.
She has doubled
Yeah,
the
she's
size.
big.
She looks like a little
She-
chunky puppy.
She loves her mama. That's for sure.
Did you name her after Pearl from the scary movies or whatever?
No, she is this coloring is called Merle, Merle. And if two Merles breed together, then there's a really good chance that the dog will either be blind or deaf. And she still has about 75% vision. One of her eyes wanders, and it possibly could get worse with age. But that's what Melissa wanted. She's been talking about that ever since I've known her. So getting a
You
handicapped
got
dog
her a dog with a wonky eye.
with a wonky eyeball.
She's
and a
beautiful
good-
though. She's a
and
pretty
a
dog.
good personality.
Yeah.
And a good
That's cool.
personality.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you can see that her left one wanders
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Rescue dog or rescue animals are the way to go.
Yeah, Uncle Wes is going to be really excited to watch this bad boy.
I
We're
want the
going to take
cat.
her. We're going to take her hiking to see how it goes. But Wes might have to watch her during our hiking adventures.
I got you.
Fine. By me.
I think he'll be good with that. Well, fellas,
Speaking of good with that, my name is Nick Cook,
West Dub.
I'm Josh.
and
Y'all know who
this
the fuck I am.
has been another fantastic episode of Fine by Me.
I always have to turn my volume down before we end the episode, so I don't
Love
get my
y'all.
ear-